On today's Taste Texas, we're serving up brunch for the holidays. And we've got a delicious 5-minute meal that'll keep you warm on those cold winter days.
Doctor that up with a little bit of kosher salt and some freshly cracked black pepper.
It's the holidays, and we're excited. So pull up a chair and join us at the table.
Welcome to Taste Texas, everybody. I'm Amy Kushner.
And I'm Garth Blackburn.
And today is all about brunch. Brunch everything. If you're getting ready for the holidays and you may be preparing a brunch yourself, we've got some great ideas and some good recipes for you. Garth's going to kick it off.
Brunch time, yeah. So when I think about brunch, I'm thinking about what can I do maybe the day before, so I'm not having to wake up early in order to get things done.
You want to do as much ahead as you can.
And then you want to have items that are going to hold up well, because not everybody eats at exactly the same time, and maybe you're relaxing for a little bit longer than what you planned. So we're going to start with a breakfast strata, which is basically a frittata, but with bread in it. And a frittata, another name for that is a man quiche, because real men don't eat quiche. So this is kind of like a bready man quiche.
Sounds like a challenge to me, Garth. We'll talk about that later.
Up for a challenge. So I'm going to have you...
Frittata, mantata.
This is the strata. And I'm going to have you crack these 6
Strata.
eggs.
Crack them? Crack a lackin'. All right.
And you can put the shells on here. The bread I'm going to be using is challah bread. It's a Jewish bread. It's made with egg in it, so it's going to be really rich.
Man, I'm already messing up. Goodness gracious. Okay, we'll keep going.
Person on that task. The ratio here is going to be the key. So this is going to be my basic custard recipe that could be used for sweet or for savory. So if we're going to do sweet, this would be the same base that I use for my bread pudding, which I make often. We've done it several times in the show and then on the broadcasts as well, like my raspberry white chocolate bread pudding. So we've got those recipes on our website. Are you getting shell in with each of these?
I am just not on my game today.
One advantage of the strata with all these other ingredients is that if there is a little crunch, it might be from one of the additional ingredients or from Amy leaving shell in the
Honestly, this is not how I normally crack eggs.
I was going to say, I thought you usually do it on the countertop.
I use a paper towel, but
I would love to see you crack an egg with a paper towel.
That'll be another show. Let's keep going.
Impressive.
We got a lot of stuff to do today. We'll do that later. Tricks later.
Yeah, that's going to be a big trick. So we'll put a little salt and pepper in here.
All right. What was that again? I'm sorry, I missed that.
That was milk.
Milk, okay.
From Milk King Creamery. You could use half and half. Heavy cream would be a little bit indulgent, but I have no problem with that.
Awesome.
If you'll put in a couple tablespoons of mustard.
I'm going to believe this is your favorite ingredient.
But a lot of times you don't taste it. It's just kind of a subtle addition.
That's what I did.
Did you put a quarter cup?
Maybe. Okay.
So just whisk that up. And then we're going to add the bread here in just a second. The additional ingredients we're going to do, this is a French feta cheese. I've not yet found a Texas cheese, so that's feta, that's got that dry. It's not going to melt out, and that's what I like. I like having the little nuggets of that saltiness from that feta. And once you're finished whisking there, we're also going to put in some sun-dried tomatoes.
Really good. All right, I think we're about good here.
Some fresh basil. This is from Generation Farms. We got to go visit with Ethan a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, here we go.
All right.
Now what? What kind of bread was that? Oops, I'm looking everywhere. Sorry. What did you want me to do with that?
I was just showing you what I had just shown everyone else about a minute ago.
Eggs. Sorry, I missed the whole thing. We'll talk about it later. Save it. All right.
So if you'll mix that all up for me. Are you hungry there?
Oh, delicious, whatever it is. Okay. It's sweet. You said sweet. I caught that. Okay, and then this cheese, the chunk.
Don't believe it, I did. That's the feta. I'm going to leave it in chunks.
This is gorgeous.
Those are the sun-dried, or you can make your own oven-dried tomatoes. You could take some of the tomatoes from Amelia's farm where we went to.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Dice those up, put them in your oven at 150 degrees for about 3 hours, and that'll dry them up, and it won't have all of the additives that regular sun-dried tomatoes have. So you're going to mix that in.
Gorgeous, whatever is going on here. I love it.
Okay, and so to make this easier to eat, so you can just pick it up and go, and by putting it into a muffin tin, it could never be called a casserole. Like if I used a casserole dish. So why don't you start filling that up?
I got it. Okay. Do you need to spray your pan or anything like that with it?
This has a non-stick surface on it, so in this one you don't. And we're gonna fill it up just to the top, but not over the top, because when, bless you. That's how much she's loving the smell of the food here.
Did you put pepper in there? I think something got to me.
I don't know that I actually got to the pepper.
Goodness, pardon me.
Anyhow, when eggs get hot, they rise. So we'll start to pop up, kind of like a souffle. So don't overfill it, or you're gonna be cleaning your oven, and that's not a good way to start brunch. So
you want to fill these all the way up?
Just. I hope y'all are catching a little bit about what's going on here. Maybe you can replicate the recipe.
I'm not going to ask any more questions. I'm just going to do what I'm told.
We're going to fill up these muffin tins. We're going to put it in the 325-degree oven for about 22 minutes. So we'll head back to that after the break.
And what they're telling me is that we're going to have a break, so y'all stay with us. We'll be right back. I don't know. But first, we want you to take a look at a really cool place that we recently visited near Sherman, Denison area, right?
Right, all about the eggs.
All about the eggs. Take a look.
We started that in 1999, 2000. We always did beef. Even the years that I was in the school business, we did the beef. This was just a welcome respite for me. I loved every minute of it. Every minute that we have done this over the last 15 years, I've loved every minute of it.
That's great.
It's kind of fascinating. We combine all the facets of marketing. I mean, we raise it, we package it, produce it, market it, sell it. There's no middlemen anywhere in our process. But I'm a sustainable farmer.
Well, the funny thing too is that the no nitrate added isn't nitrate free. They use celery salt that converts to nitrate. So the end result, and I'm super passionate about it, so much so.
Oh my gosh, what are you doing?
Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm all about the bacon.
When you buy one of our eggs, usually you're hooked because you can't get it in a commercial setting. And normally, not this time of year, but normally the egg yolk is a dark golden orange as opposed to a pale yellow.
Why is that?
Because of the grass again.
All right. You ever seen me juggle?
No, don't.
Me neither. No, don't.
All right, so let's keep moving. I think there's eggs almost in everything we're making today.
There is. And they're farm fresh, naturally raised, no hormones, no antibiotics. They're great eggs. It was really interesting learning about the fact that the color doesn't mean anything.
It means nothing to the taste. Isn't that interesting?
But all these farmers have to pretty much raise hens that are producing brown eggs, because
if not... Are you going to show the egg trick? There's an egg trick.
Where you juggle.
No juggling.
Yes.
I've already made a mistake today. No, remember what he said? If the egg is really, really fresh, it'll sink to the bottom. And if it's not as fresh, it rises to the top.
Because there's an air pocket. And so, if the air pocket gets too full, it means that the egg's getting old.
And
so, we can try that out.
Okay. Are we going to do that? Oh, in my wine? Really? Oh, my goodness.
Farm fresh, sunk to the bottom. So that's perfect. Okay,
we'll
so
work on that
go
later.
ahead and crack that. I didn't have water. Crack that open for me, if you would.
Crack it open and put it where?
Into that mixing.
I feel like I'm being set up for a trick.
No, just when I saw your wine glass out. Apparently we're having wine with brunch today.
Okay. Always.
Good, that one.
All right.
So this is our crepe batter. The key on crepe batter, the reason we're making this early is that it needs to sit, ideally an hour, but at least 15 or 20 minutes.
Right.
So that all the foam, all the bubbles subside, and that will allow you to make a perfect crepe.
All right.
This is gonna be some milking milk, 1 cup. A cup of flour.
All-purpose flour? Okay.
And then 3 tablespoons of melted butter.
Nice. That's pretty
And
simple.
If you'll puree that for me.
Okay. Still, I tell you what.
You tried
every
recommend
time,
not turning it on before you put it down into whatever you're
well, I
gonna
know you don't
puree.
pull it out before you turn it off. I have learned that. What if you just wanted to whisk this? Do you have to use this machine?
You whisk it. This just makes it so much faster. You could use a regular blender at
Frothier.
home. Right, it does make it frothier, and that's the reason we're going to put it in the refrigerator for about an hour
Okay.
or at least 30 minutes. Otherwise, we're not going to get that nice, clean finish.
Wow, looks good enough to drink. All right, there we go.
All right.
How's
so
that?
pop
Did I do
on.
all right?
Yep, that looks good.
Okay, good.
All right, and so now we're going to get ready with this sauce. Is going to be great on both the crepe and the stratas that are baking in the oven right now.
Okay.
It's going to be my Texas wing sauce. We're using some Texas sour cream.
You're gonna do a wing sauce on a crepe?
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be
That
great.
sounds interesting. All right, how much sour cream?
That much that you
And-
asked after, right?
Yeah, and then you want some of this mayo?
Equal part mayo.
Can I do that? I just did.
Apparently, you can just double dip at home as well.
Who minds if they got a little sour cream with their mayo? That is a perfect combination. Okay.
1 clove of garlic,
Yes, that sounds good.
2 tablespoons of blue cheese,
Oh, and then your buffalo sauce.
and then some hot sauce, Mexican hot sauce. That's going to be about a tablespoon. You make it as spicy as you want.
Yeah.
We're just going to puree that, and that's going to be a great sauce, really, for everything we're going to be making for brunch.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait for y'all to come back, and we're going to give you more details on how to make your beautiful brunch for the holidays. Stay with us. Can I mix this all up? Do you remember the egg that he put in my wine? Well, I decided to have a little protein. I'm not afraid of this at all.
That egg's going to start coming above the surface.
Oh, it's perfect. I wonder what year this was. It was delicious. All right.
The
so
egg?
let's move on. I like to have a little wine, and sometimes I put it in the food while I'm
I
cooking.
couldn't agree more.
Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I'm going to make a quiche, and you're going to like it because real men do eat
You're
quiche.
making quiche.
Yes. And so I've reduced down some beautiful mushrooms in lots of butter.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay.
So far on the right track.
Okay, and then I'm going to put in some green onions, and I'm going to let all that saute a little bit further. In the meantime, I would like for you to whisk 4 eggs that I've already put in the bowl for you. Yep, just like that. And then you want to add in a cup of milk and then a cup of heavy cream. Look at this cute little copper cup I found.
That's absolutely what I look for in kitchen gadgets.
Isn't that
The
adorable?
cuteness factor.
Cuteness factor. Okay, then what you want to do, and I don't want to spill this, you want to carefully add your sauteed mushrooms and your green onions to some spinach that you've already de-thawed and squeezed all that water out because you don't want any extra moisture.
You de-thawed
You,
it?
you thawed it.
Oh, thawed
You
it.
thawed it, yes. And you got all the water out.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then you want to mix all this in just like so. You get all the spinach. Look, isn't that gorgeous?
That looks very good.
You get all the spinach and the green onions
It
mixed.
smells great too.
Doesn't it smell so good? Okay, then you want to add in, I say Gruyere cheese. I don't know what you call it, Chefy.
Gruyere
So there's
or Gruyere, yeah, whatever.
That'd be a
This is your
cup.
recipe. You can call it whatever you
a
like.
cup of that. And then I like to add a cup of parm because I think it's even better. Oh, would you throw in some butter, salt and pepper? Salt and pepper, please. Yes, just like that. Not too much salt because I don't like to overdo it. Yeah, that's good. So we want to mix all this up. And my bowl is just a little small. I should have got a larger bowl here, but well,
That
meanwhile,
looks
back
good.
at the ranch.
All my favorite things.
Yes.
Cheese, mushrooms, a little bit of spinach.
Isn't that pretty?
It
Okay.
is.
So then you want to take a pie crust. Now you can make your own pie crust, but during the holidays, I typically don't have time for that. So
Amy didn't have time for that.
nobody got time for that. So you add all your goodness into the bottom of your plate, just like so. Regular pie plate, if you've got that. Then you want to sprinkle on top some toasted pine nuts that you've got right there. So please do that. just like so.
Just go
Isn't that
crazy
gorgeous?
with them?
I just do like a third cup or half, I don't know, whatever you got at home would be great.
3/4 of a cup.
Yeah, that's good too. And then you want to add in all that egg and milk mixture right on top. Isn't that pretty? You're gonna like quiche. I think you're gonna like this.
I don't like eggs and the whole quiche thing. I just can't get over
The whole brunch
it.
thing is about eggs.
It is.
And
And these are some ways to make eggs that are a little bit more friendly for people who aren't fond of eggs, right?
And then to make your crust really pretty, just brush it with a little bit of egg wash here, just like so. Pop it in the oven for about 30, 45 minutes.
What temperature?
That would be about 350 degrees is what I did.
Are you making this up as you go? Because
Actually-
you always call me out on that.
No, I just had to think for a second because it's been a little while since I've made this. But I do have one coming in the oven soon. I think it's about 350 degrees.
Great.
About 40, 45 minutes. Be perfect. Awesome. Isn't that beautiful?
That looks great.
That deserves a picture.
That
right
does
now.
deserve a picture.
I'll get my camera. Okay, so pop that
Can
in the
we
oven.
bake it? Yeah.
Let's do that. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna move on to your crepe.
We are. In fact, if you'll do me a favor and put that green pan back over here again.
Yes, I sure will.
Now, what we're going to stuff the crepe with is a little bit of grilled asparagus.
Uh-huh.
So I've got the asparagus.
Do you need my little baby cups?
I don't need your cute little
Okay.
cups.
We'll save them for later.
Salt and pepper. Toss these on a high heat grill. These are thin asparagus. They're going to cook really fast.
Oh, yeah.
And while those are grilling,
Mm-hmm.
I've got the batter that we made about 45 minutes ago, ideally. Okay.
There's still stuff in there.
That's why I'd asked if you were gonna
Should
finish it.
we wipe that out a little
yeah,
bit? Because I left some green onions for
I was hoping to
you.
use some of that butter. Now.
There is
It's all
lots
gonna
of butter.
end up in the same place anyway,
This pan
right?
has been seasoned very well.
Well, and actually the great thing I love about the Le
Your
Creuset,
asparagus.
we're just gonna chart really quick.
Okay.
About the Le Creuset is that it's not a non-stick surface, but
Right.
it's resilient to sticking. So once it comes up to heat, we're gonna put the batter in, flip it over, just make it really quick, about a minute per side.
I love crepes.
And you want them thin. So I pour it in the center,
Right.
and then I'm gonna swirl it.
So you need to almost have this size pan would be
This
perfect.
is the perfect size pan.
And that's about how many inches?
It's about 8 inches.
Okay.
And you're just gonna get that cooking for a minute on this side. We'll flip it over, a minute on the other side. We're gonna stuff it with the grilled asparagus, a little bit of the full Quiver Farms
Yum.
cheese, and now we've got a very simple crepe.
I'm getting hungry. I don't know about y'all, but it's almost serving time. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, here we are in the Sub-Zero and Wolf Prep Kitchen where all the magic happens and the delicious food gets cranked out. We're gonna be doing a avocado and green tomato soup today. Doesn't sound like a winter soup, but we're actually gonna serve it warm, top it with a little adobo crema, and then some marinated cucumbers. Let's go ahead and get started. I am gonna roll with an avocado. People don't think about this for a winter soup. Avocado will still stay green even when it gets warm. So I'm just gonna pop that seed out. This is something you don't want to heat up too early though. If you leave it warm for more than 30 minutes or an hour, it'll start to discolor slightly. And to help maintain some of the green and also add some delicious flavor, we're going to use some fresh cilantro. I'm going to go ahead and put that in early because we're just going to heat this up really quickly. This is a fantastic green tomato grown hydroponically from Amelia's Farm in Bells, Texas. So I'm just going to cut that top off. And I can use this entire thing. If you can't find green tomatoes, you could substitute the tomatillo, which is a little similar in flavor. It's gonna be a little bit more acidic. If you decide to use a tomatillo instead of the green tomato, don't add the lime juice. Then we'll just take half a lime if we're not using a tomatillo, if we're using the green tomato. Just juice that in. Add 1 clove of garlic. I want a little bit of heat, so I'm gonna add a fresh jalapeno. And I'm gonna be pureeing all of this, so I don't need to worry about perfect knife cuts. That's what makes this a great, easy 5-minute meal. Okay, I want a little bit of creaminess. I don't need a lot, a small amount of 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of Milk King cream is gonna be just enough to add some rich mouthfeel. About a tablespoon. And then I'm gonna cover this with chicken stock. And that'll be about the right ratio of liquid to all of our fresh vegetables. We're gonna take this up to heat, puree it, top it with that cucumber and that crema, and then we've got an awesome 5-minute soup. Doctor that up with a little bit of kosher salt and some freshly cracked black pepper. Now we'll take it back to the counter and puree it, and we're ready to serve. All right, now it's time to puree it. It's gonna make a thick, creamy soup. All right, you can use your regular blender at home, even a food processor. For me, this is a quick cleanup with the stick blender. Just pour that into our soup bowl. Save the other half for another day. And now you can garnish it with whatever you like. In fact, if you'd like to make this into an entree, I could top this with a little bit of jumbo lump crab or maybe some cooked shrimp. For today, we're gonna keep it vegetarian style, except for that chicken stock. We're gonna put a little white vinegar or champagne vinegar on some diced cucumber, and this is Texas cucumber. Little salt, little pepper. Mix that up. Put that right in. All right, so we'll take that adobo cream, put some of that right in the center, drizzle it with a little bit of avocado oil. Pretty simple 5-minute soup. Y'all enjoy.
Really cool. If you leave an egg sitting in wine, you can color it. So stay tuned for the Easter show. We'll do more. Okay, Garth, let's pull out all this good brunch food. There's the quiche.
There's your man quiche.
Isn't that pretty? It's gorgeous. This is going to be the most delicious quiche ever. Okay. Ooh, those turned out really nice and full. I'm glad I filled them up.
You filled them up perfectly.
Okay, so, oh my gosh, this is the
crepe.
crepe.
Speaking of queso.
Yeah.
This is the cheese from Full Quiver Farms. It's infused with jalapeno. We're gonna put some of the asparagus on there.
The grilled asparagus.
Grilled asparagus. Roll that up.
Yeah.
Cut that at an angle.
Oh, that's really pretty. Okay, in the meanwhile, I'm gonna go ahead and cut you a slice of this quiche because I know you're dying for a slice.
Literally dying.
Okay. This turns out so pretty. And after it's had some time to set, once it's out of the oven, it's like nice and, look, how beautiful.
That looks delicious.
Hey, I want to let everybody know that you can get all of these recipes on our website, and that is tastetexastv.com. And then, of course, we're also on social media, which is Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. That's Taste Texas TV. And what else?
And
you need a fork to taste that quiche.
The other thing I want to say is if you do follow us on Facebook, you're going to get my off-the-show recipe for our holiday adult milkshake. This is a drunken peppermint adult milkshake.
Drunken peppermint. Nice. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, y'all, for joining us. You get a bite of that. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. Thanks for joining us.